So Andy, one of the things that I think a lot of business talk about these days, it seems to be a word that everybody uses, is innovation. People talk about it.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people pay lip service to it. How does a business start to truly become a place where innovation can happen?
I think the starting point is working out what innovation is. It doesn't have to be a new all-conquering product that's going to sort of change the world. The definition that we use is that it's the successful exploitation of new ideas. So it could be somebody watching this video getting an idea and going, I'm going to make this work in my business. I'd argue that's innovation. So the key bit for me is, first of all, do we generate ideas? More importantly, do we do something with them? So successful exploitation of new ideas.
And how does a business go about starting that journey? So obviously you've got staff. It could be a small business of 2 or 3 staff. You could have 200 staff. Yeah. But how do you start to encourage members of your team to actually come up with these ideas, think about the ways of doing things that are new? How does that start?
I think it starts by giving people permission to do that, putting it on the agenda and saying this is what we want from our people, this is what we expect. It comes back to culture. But it's also about making time to do it. I had one client that told me that his people were terrible at coming up with ideas. And I said, well, what processes have you got for doing that? And he said, my door is always open. That's not a process. Whereas another client of mine, once a month, they get some guys together, sit around a table, have pizza problem solving, get some pizzas in, come up with a topic, and just for an hour, they have 20 minutes discussing the issues, 20 minutes brainstorming ideas, 20 minutes feeding back to the MD what their thoughts and ideas are. And the process improved massively when he left the room and just came back for the last 20 minutes. Now that's a process. Different businesses have different processes, but working out how can we actually create the time and the resource to make this stuff happen.
And do you think that's important then? Do you think it's necessary, if a business wants to be innovative, it has to create time in some way for staff and members of a team to be able to actually do that?
I do, because I think we're all incredibly busy. We're all busy. People talk about being busy and the pressures that are on us. So it's about making it legitimate. So again, it could be that, if you're running your own business, we talk about going for walks. And going for walks is just about creating time just to read an extra book, go on a website, just go and think about some of these things. And again, we talk about fishing in different ponds, which is about sort of just go to an exhibition of a conference that you've never been to before, just to see how other people are doing things. And it's about legitimising that and building it into the way you do things. So rather than just thinking out the box, it's getting out the box. And
how does a business make that sacred, that time? Because one of the things I've noticed in businesses is, of course, everybody's incredibly busy, there's deadlines, backs against the wall, so suddenly that innovation hour or whatever, or that afternoon or whatever, we're cancelling that this month, guys, because we're too busy. And of course it never actually happens because it's important but it's never urgent. So how does a business sort of enshrine that and make sure it does actually happen?
I think it comes back to the leadership. It's actually making sure that it does happen is by tracking it. It might be a bit obvious, but just diary it, create the time and make it become part of the way we do things around here, which comes back to creating this Uber culture.